Hello, welcome back. I'm Karen Sullivan and this is Soul Symbols Astrology. And I'm here to do the weekly astrology. And this week we're looking at the Virgo Lunar Eclipse with the moon close to the South Node, which makes it an eclipse. It's a turning point for us of release, refinement and real discernment. But the real key to the eclipse is the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury, that's currently retrograde in Pisces. And instead of treating Mercury as purely factual and informational, I'm approaching it as oracular. So we're looking at Mercury, the messenger, Hermes, who speaks in symbols, in dreams, synchronicities, with creative thinking and creative knowing. So we'll also bring in Pallas, which is an asteroid, which I don't normally do, but it brings in a beautiful additional layer of pattern wisdom and strategy. And I'll give you a simple practice to translate the message into something that you can embody and actually live out, something practical if you want to, of course. And at the end of that, I shall bring you your horoscope, your rising sign horoscopes. And because it's Mercury as oracular, I will read each sign an oracle card. So today I want to take you into that Virgo lunar eclipse and do it through that very particular doorway, the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury, which is retrograde in Pisces. Now Virgo can become that energy of what do I need to fix or improve or organize? And yeah, that's still part of it. But this eclipse is asking for a different kind of intelligence. And that's more than just facts, information, and that rational, logical intelligence. It's oracular intelligence. So the kind of intelligence that arrives with the symbol first, and then later on can put it into a sentence and translate it into practicalities. So let's get the charts up for a moment and have a look at them. 1 second. Here we are. So let's go back a short while. Mercury, 1 second. Mercury stationed retrograde here on the 25th of February, and this was the pivot moment. And the eclipse is in the wake of that pivot. So we're not watching it turn where it gets slightly louder. We're watching Mercury retrace, review, revise, retrieve. So it's doing something very differently here. So you may have been feeling this sort of hyper awareness, but not knowing what to do with it. It can be a sense of hearing the messaging or sensing a message, but not being able to fully unpack it and translate it. So this is the nature of Mercury in Pisces. So here we have the lunar eclipse, okay? This lunar eclipse is 12 degrees of Virgo. Okay, here we have it. There's Virgo. And the moon is conjoined with that south node. So Mercury, the ruler of Virgo here, is retrograde in Pisces at 20. Where are we? Yeah, at 20 degrees. This eclipse. Note also we've got Mars here that is literally at 0 degrees of Pisces just entered, and that's a Triplicity ruler along with the moon and Venus. Okay. And Venus as well is in Pisces, that other Triplicity ruler exalted. The sun is in Pisces as well, obviously, and close by here is the asteroid Pallas. Close by, it's conjoined the sun. So what is really standing out in this is, for me, is the earth and water thing. And they're doing most of the action here. Virgo being the earth, Pisces being the water. And this eclipse landing in Virgo, while Mercury, Venus and the sun and Mars gather in Pisces. And Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces, and he is in Cancer here. Water again. And as I said, Mars is 0 degrees. Pisces right at the beginning of the sign. So we could look at it like we've got this ecosystem of earth and water and their rulers activated. And this matters because earth and water together are the alchemical pairing of embodiment. It's almost like soul trying to become something you can actually live. And Jupiter, the ruler of Pisces, part of the, very important part of this eclipse is in Cancer, which is the gateway into the material. So embodiment being very important here. Let's get you back. Here you are. So, just getting rid of a few things so I know what I'm doing here. So let's start with this Virgo. So I talked about fixing and organizing, but it's not just productive Virgo. Virgo can be the craft of discernment. So diagnosis. It can be that ability to be able to separate what's useful from what is just noise and then create a method that we can embody that is sustaining to our daily lives, to our service, to our place in the world. So this lunar eclipse is a culmination and a reveal, but there's also a removal, a reset, a taking away, because the South Node is involved. Here with the moon, the South Node is present. And so that the South Node is about decrease. Okay, so that is getting loud in this eclipse. That is being highlighted in this eclipse. And South Node eclipses have a quality of composting to them. So something has run its course energetically, and in our lives that can be a habit, a coping strategy, a way of helping that energetically drains us. And it can be a method that we've used that used to work, but now is making us feel trapped and in a mode that is just maintaining rather than fulfilling and bringing life to us. So we're not just looking at what needs improving, we're looking at what needs releasing here. And we'll be releasing what is keeping us tethered to anxiety. And we can be in denial about that anxiety or being tethered to anxiety by sort of seeing this as responsibility, as service, as something we need to do. And Virgo can become kind of like the shadow side of it, this endless refinement of the self. It's known for, self-criticism, that inner critic, and endless correcting and fixing. But this eclipse can also show where that devotion has been real, but the method needs to change. So we have that opportunity here. There's a devotional aspect to Virgo in that service. I've likened her to the Vestal Virgins, Hestia, and Vesta, the tender of the hearth fire. So there is devotion there. And part of that sense of purity and devotion is the devoting to the inner fire. But sometimes Virgo can try and earn that sense of peace through a kind of perfectionism. But this eclipse is saying no more. This needs releasing, this perfectionism, that contract, that bargain, whatever it is, however it looks in your life, it's time to give it up. So Mercury is ruling this eclipse. And so the rulers of the eclipses are really the storyline. So we could look at Virgo as the event that's happening, the moon's there, and Mercury is telling us what kind of event and how it moves. So Mercury is not in an earth sign as the moon is. So it's not in a place where Mercury is tidy and literal. Virgo is the ruler, obviously, so he's in the opposite sign. So this is where I want to look at this oracular piece here, because the usual line about Mercury in Pisces is that Mercury struggles with facts. So sometimes it does in Pisces, but it doesn't speak the whole archetype in that sense. Mercury in Pisces is a very different animal or instrument. Let's say instrument, that sounds better. Don't want to be calling Mercury an animal. So Mercury in Pisces is the messenger who speaks in images. And remember, Hermes Mercury is that psychopomp. So he goes from Mount Olympus down to Hades with the messages. So he's that translator between worlds for us. So our dream time and waking, our psyche, our unconscious, subconscious, and language, our intuition and how we articulate that. So we have some wonderful things that we can look at in a different way, this communication very differently. So we could look at Mercury in Virgo as an editor, but in Pisces, he's not an editor, he's a poet. And Gemini, that he rules as well, he's often the reporter of facts, figures, data, information. But in Pisces, he's the oracle. And because Mercury's in retrograde, he's not rushing. He's not trying to produce those quick answers. He's revisiting the message. I believe it was the 7th of February when Mercury went into Pisces, and he's going back over that ground. I believe he'll station direct at around 7-8 degrees. So he's correcting the translation in a sense. He's revisiting those messages that came during that, during February, and he's correcting it. He's getting us to look at it in a different way. So we might want to be asking ourselves, did we hear what we thought we heard as Mercury passed through Pisces? Or did we hear what was actually said? Okay, so that kind of fog can get cleared up here. I think Mercury is trying to bring that. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is not going to be removing the clarity. It's changing the language of the clarity. That's the nuance to it. So our practice then becomes translating that message and embodying it. So the oracle is giving us symbols, and Virgo is asking us to refine it into something that's embodied and livable that we can use in our service, in our daily life. So if you try to force Mercury in Pisces to behave like Mercury in Virgo, you will feel lost. But allow Mercury in Pisces to give you the image first, and then you work with it slowly and until it becomes meaningful to you, until it becomes into the fullness of that message. So you then get something rare when you do that. You get truth with soul in it because it's working through us. So the chart I've just shown you supports that. Mercury's there in retrograde and close enough to the sun to be under the beams. So the message, when Mercury is under the beams, he's not clearly visible in the sky. So the translation of that is that message is not necessarily public and obvious. It's more like the message is being delivered inside us, into our inner self, into our soul, the inner chambers of our soul. So we can look at this, in the myth as Hermes in the temple, not Hermes wheeling and dealing in the marketplace. Hermes is listening to the gods here and bringing those messages. And one more nuance I love here is Mercury at 20 degrees Pisces is in his own bounds. So even in Pisces, which is Jupiter's sign, Mercury has got, some added dignity. He's got his own room in that temple. So you could look at it like a private office in Jupiter's temple. So he's got room to maneuver and move under his own terms. And that's why it isn't just about fog and struggling with communication. It's a specialized kind of perception. So the message is real, but it's not arriving in data sheet, facts, information, reams of stuff in our head, that kind of logical, rational information. Jupiter, as I said, is the ruler. And with Mercury, it's kind of saying that meaning must feed us here, feed the body. Pisces being ruled by Jupiter. So as I said, Mercury is being hosted by Jupiter, and Jupiter in this chart is in Cancer. He's exalted, he's strong, and he's in trine to Pisces here, and he's in a sextile to the moon in Virgo. So very important. So in Cancer, it's strength. He's strong, he's nourished, he's protective here. So it's beautiful benefic of fertility and abundance is in a beautiful position for strength, nourishment, and protection. So that oracular message isn't meant to stay, floating around there somewhere in the clouds. Jupiter in Cancer is asking us, does the meaning you're receiving actually feed you, nourish you? Does it protect what matters? Does it restore your sense of safety, belonging, nourishment, and emotional continuity? So there's some of the questions we can ask for these messages being delivered by these symbols and being delivered by Mercury. And this is really important because Virgo eclipses can trigger that self-criticism spiral, that self-judgment. Jupiter in Cancer, it is an antidote here. Excuse me. It's saying the point of discernment is not to criticize ourselves. If we're seeing things about us, if we're getting these visual symbols, dreams, intuitions, is not to go, oh, you're rotten. It's a discernment for care, self-care and care of the others, but particularly for self-care here. So if you look at it, that any revelation, that if it leaves you feeling harsher or colder or brittle, it's probably not a true message. The true message tends to make you more honest and brings a love and a kindness there at the same time. So we've also got this earth and water triplicity that I've spoken about. And this is vital. It's almost becoming like an inner council for us. So both earth and water have got these rulers, the same voices. We've got Venus, the moon, and Mars. So we have Venus, which is beautifully exalted in Pisces. So we're talking values, devotion, beauty as the medicine, and love that is spiritually true. And then the moon in Virgo, we're talking of the body, our daily rhythms. It's a reality check, and it's where the editing and the releasing is going to come here. And then we've got Mars at 0 degrees Pisces, the last triplicity. This is about the courage to release, to end what's draining you, and to stop feeding what we can't heal just by effort, continuous effort. We need to stop those things, release those things. So we got an alchemy going on here. We got Venus receiving the messages through feeling, relationship, through art, tenderness, prayer, meditation, imagination. We've got the moon down there in Virgo that is distilling it through practice. What is changing in our daily routines, our health, our boundaries, our service, the work that we do. And then we've got Mars in Pisces making that compassionate severing. It's closing the loop, it's ending any energy leaks, and it can withdraw energy cleanly, really. Mars is a sword. So we can get our magician swords out here. Okay, we're talking Mercury, and Mercury is in the tarot, the magician. So with Mars, we using our swords to sever, but compassionately and cleanly. So Mars in Pisces it's not aggression. It's not, having a punch up internally. It's about dissolving whatever is binding us there. It's that decision to stop wrestling with what makes us leak energy and emotion here. Now I'm going to have a look at Pallas. It's something I never look at, but it popped up on, for some reason. I don't normally have it on my charts, but it popped up on the charts. So I'm interested. I think there's a reason. So if Pallas is a strategist, a pattern recognition. She's intelligent design. she crafts wise action. And in Pisces, she becomes a very particular kind of strategist. She's a strategist of the unseen here. So her strategy is not controlling. It's a strategy that is wrapped around in compassion here in Pisces. So it's knowing when softness heals and when softness enables. Okay. So very good. She's very good here for us to find our boundaries that are protective. And it's seeing the pattern underneath any drama that's unfolding within us, or, in our situations around us, or out in the world there. And she's humorous. And she's using that like a blade of truth, using humor here. And with Pallas close to all this cluster of planets in Pisces, the oracle as Mercury isn't just giving us feelings. We've got Pallas here giving us pattern recognition, pattern wisdom. Okay. And Virgo's job with the moon there is to apply that cleanly. And what is beautiful about this, I think it was last week or the week before, I had a message with my tarot about the pattern, what is it? The pattern seers. And I knew little or nothing about Pallas at that point. So this is fascinating to me. So let's look at the lunar eclipse and the South Node and how that can unfold for us. It can be a change in our workload or responsibilities, or just a recognition of what we're willing or unwilling to carry for others. It's a boundary check out here. We can have revelation about health, not just symptoms, but the emotional and spiritual underpinnings, or the diet we've been living on emotionally and spiritually. So it is very much about our body, and there may be revelations there with Virgo and the moon, or the moon in Virgo. It can also be a moment of clarity about service, who you're serving, why, and whether it's reciprocal and it's something that you want to continue to do. And a deep simplification. So not this deprivation, but a purification. Virgo is very much about purification. And because Mercury is retrograde in Pisces, ruling it, the why may arrive as an image first. You might just have a signal rather than a full story. So in this respect, we can pay attention and listen to repeated symbols or reoccurring dreams, or the images that arise in our dreams. If you've got conversations going round and round in your head, what are you replaying there? There may be something in there we need to look at and let go. And that sudden sensitivity to whatever it is that's draining our energy, whether that's physical, emotional, or spiritual. And you may be feeling pulls towards what is restoring us. So Virgo and Pisces together can be that discernment Virgo that's guided by the soul Pisces there. But, there can be shadow, as there always is. So Mercury retrograde in Pisces can appear as projection. So assuming you know what someone means without checking, without getting that clarity there can be fog, details slipping, timelines blurring, agreements that kind of porous, leaking all over the place. So we need to really check those, check the details, and using meaning to avoid a necessary boundary. What do I mean about that? Spiritually, we could say we're all love and light. So I need to employ love and put up with this, that, and the other. And that's the meaning for me, but it doesn't help me to say, well, actually, this is draining me. Okay. Hope that makes sense. And Virgo can become harshness. It can definitely become hyper control, that micromanaging everything about yourself or your life or others. And it can become an obsessive fixing of things. Everything needs fixing and everything in order. And anxiety can be disguised. We can kind of be in denial. So we can be rushing about doing all our housework, getting everything in order. And actually that's an expression of anxiety, and we're using that control to ignore it. So look at those things if they come up for you. But, you know, I always talk about the medicine, and the medicine here is the marriage of that Pisces and Virgo axis. So allow the messages to come symbolically, but double check the logistics. To just, you know, purposely bring in the facts to the symbols, and let compassion lead, but make sure you've got that Virgo discernment there. Okay. So maybe a ritual, if you want a ritual. So for the 3 nights around the eclipse, write down a dream or a symbol that you remember. One moment that felt like a sign in the day, a synchronicity, you know, something that really grabs you. One place that you felt depletion, you know, where's your energy leaking, and one place that you felt nourishment. So then you can look at those things, and it can become the unfolding of Mercury's message and the message of this eclipse. What is it asking you to do? Then you can choose one Mars in Pisces action. So a compassionate ending, a boundary through withdrawing. That can be gentle and compassionate withdrawing from something that's sapping your energy. A loop that you stop feeding, whatever that loop is, mental, emotional, behavioral, whatever, you can stop feeding. And an obligation that is on you, you can return that. If it's not an obligation you should be holding any longer. And a quiet but final decision can come here, okay? So choose an action. But the point is not to perfect your life overnight. Virgo would be wanting you to do that. Do all this, navel gaze, and bring perfection, organize it, fix it, you know. But we're here to look at this to understand the symbols and the signals that we're getting through an oracular ruler of this eclipse. So the Virgo eclipse is asking for purification and release. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is asking you to receive guidance through symbol, image, imagination, dream, not through the usual facts, figures, rational thinking, information. Don't abandon rational thinking, but be aware of this different way of receiving. Those of you who already know, you've got a head start for this eclipse. Pallas in Pisces is adding that pattern wisdom and a strategy that's going to serve any healing that needs to come here. The Earth-Water Triplicity, Venus, Moon and Mars are telling you how it resolves. We receive from Venus, we refine through the Moon in Virgo, and we release through that South Node. So if you feel like you're both dissolving and distilling, you're reading the messages correctly. It's not about getting our life perfect. It's about living our life true. So that's not very good grammar, but being true to ourselves in how we live our lives. So allow that oracle to speak in images and let Virgo translate that into practice for you. So that's the invitation of the eclipse. It's not more information, but better interpretation. Virgo asking us to purify the method. Mercury retrograde in Pisces is asking us to listen for the messages beneath the obvious. The signal will be arriving through symbol rather than certainty. Okay, so if you found this helpful, then please subscribe, comment, share. And if you'd like to work with these transits more personally, you can explore my offerings at soulsymbols.co.uk. And until next time, let the oracle speak in images and Virgo translate it into practice. All right, bye-bye. I'll see you at your rising sign. What I want to do for the horoscopes is give you the location of Virgo and Pisces, that axis, what house is, it's falling in the themes and topics, then give you a little fun oracular prompt and the symbols to watch for there, perhaps just suggestions, and how to use that symbol. And then I will give a reading with Crow Wisdom Oracle. The crows, they are wise. I see them as messengers, and I see them as very mercurial, these crows. They truly are. And they're very mischievous and can be tricksters too. So I think this is a very apt. Oh, and they can thieve as well. Some of the family of crows like to steal your shiny things, and Hermes is known for thievery. So I should be reading you those. So let's start, and we'll go to Aries rising first. So Aries rising, you have this eclipse in your 6th house here with the south moon, with the south node, and the sun and Pallas, and the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury, up here in your 12th house. This also contains Mars, which is your ruler. And you'll note here, you've also got this Saturn and Neptune in your 1st house. And that is a bit about embodying your hopes, dreams, imagination, wishes there. Okay, so what does this look like for you? So with the 6th and 12th, Virgo is the 6th, where the eclipse is, Pisces is the 12th. It can be, this lunar eclipse can be a reset of habits, health, or workload, and what you carry daily. With the Pisces side, asking for rest, retreat, and oracular guidance from dreams. So it could be about changing one daily routine that's quietly draining your energy. That could be emotional, physical, spiritual. And stop trying to save a co-worker dynamic and simplify your responsibility. So practical examples could be changing a daily routine that's quietly draining you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and stop trying to save, in inverted commas, a co-worker dynamic, and simplify your responsibilities. So do what is best for you. Track your sleep and dreams for a week and let one symbol guide a small health choice. So your oracular prompt could be, what am I doing every day that my soul is quietly refusing? So checking out what your soul's saying, that's the most important. Symbols you may want to watch. Pisces is water, so water in containers, cups, baths, leaking pipes. And for your 12th house, it's hospitals, temples, quiet rooms, and closed doors. They could be symbols that come up for you. There's many others. It's just a fun selection of symbols. And how do you use that? If the symbol shows up, choose rest or simplification over pushing. Okay, so let's get you back. So let's pull you a card from these Crow Wisdom, the Oracle. Let's have a look what we have for you, Aries. Oh, you have jealousy. So understand jealousy with introspection and empathy. That's the Pisces, isn't it? So the Pisces. It reveals desires and opportunities for personal growth. So that's what I have for you, Aries. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please like, subscribe, share, and if you want to book a reading, that's www.soulsymbols.co.uk. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Taurus. Here's your chart. So you're having this eclipse in Virgo in your 5th house here. There's the moon with the south node. And Mercury, who rules the eclipse, is up there in your 11th, Pisces. And your ruler is Venus and is a triplicity ruler and is sitting there very close to Mercury in Pisces. So what does this look like for you? So with that 5th and 11th house, we've got creative output, romance, pleasure, and your relationship to joy. So that all gets edited for you. Pisces pulls focus to friends, communities, and your larger vision. That's your 11th house. So we have the practical examples. Finish or revise a creative piece instead of writing 3 new ones. Step back from a group where your energy is leaking. Choose one pleasure practice that's actually nourishing and not numbing, and that will help you stabilize. And our fun oracular prompt is, where has my joy become performance instead of nourishment? So there's symbols we can look for here. Stages, as in theatre stages, spotlights, masks, children's art, invitations. And how do you use that? Let the symbol that keeps repeating for you, it may be a different one to the one that I've mentioned, guide you towards one creative act and one social boundary. So let's get you back, Taurus. Here you are. And I'm going to put, oh, it came straight away. It just flipped over straight away. I was just about to say, I'm going to pull from the Oracle deck. You've got a beauty here. It's awakening. So what does it say? Experience awakening through self-awareness and expanded consciousness, bringing clarity and deep insight. There's the wisdom of the crow for you. Awakening. That's what I have for you, Taurus. If you enjoyed the podcast, then please like, subscribe, share it. And if you want a personal reading, have a look at your chart with me. It would be a pleasure to do. Then nip along to www.soulsymbols.co.uk. I'll see you in the next one, Taurus. Bye-bye. Hello, Gemini. So you have this Virgo eclipse, lunar eclipse, here in your 4th house. This is on your angle, so it will affect you. And if you have planets there in Virgo or up here in Pisces, then even more. That's your 10th house. So you've got the 4th, 10th house axis here. Your ruler is Mercury, which is in retrograde, and that's in your 10th house. So likely to be reviewing your career, your vocation, the things that you're doing out there in the world, okay? So what is this looking like for you in this 4th and 10th house? So we're looking at Virgo 4th house, where the moon and the south node is. It's your home, family roots, and your private foundations that are being purified here. Pisces in your 10th will be highlighting career, public direction, and is asking for a subtler call than pure logic for you here, Gemini. So practical examples, it can be as simple as decluttering a space that holds old emotional residue. Give it a clean through, give it a sage, whatever you do to cleanse and release. And it could look like renegotiating a family obligation, revising your public messaging, your offerings. So maybe to do less explaining and have more resonance, what resonates for you in that messaging. So your fun oracular prompt is, what private truth wants to reshape my public role? And there may be symbols. I'm just going to give some. It could be many more, but watch for these: keys, rooftops, family heirlooms, old photos, mirrors, and how to use it if those symbols or other symbols appear for you. When it appears, edit your public message and commitments to align with what's real, at home, and in you. Okay, let's get you back here, Gemini. So I'm going to pull you an oracle card from this crow wisdom, see what we get for you. There's not one flipping, a bit reticent to come out. So what do we have here for? Oh, look at that beautiful harmony. The crow wisdom, the oracle is saying harmony for you. So seek balance in all aspects of your life. Harmony will bring you peace and stability. And that could be what you need right now, Gemini, with your ruling planet busy up there reviewing, resetting and renewing up in Pisces. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Cancer. So here you are. You have this eclipse, the moon down here with the south node in your third house, and the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury, up there in Pisces in your ninth house. And of course, your ruling planet is the moon. So it's down there in the third house. Okay. You're also very blessed at the moment because you have the ruler of Pisces in trine from your first house. So this should be flowing beautifully to you, your identity, your body, all the things of home. So what does this mean for you? Okay, so Virgo, third, Pisces, ninth, you could be talking about your mind, nerves, communications. The third house can be about siblings, neighbours and day-to-day logistics, and they're going to be getting corrected. Pisces pulls you towards belief, that ninth house, meaning study and spiritual perspective. So practical examples, and there may be many more, is to tighten your calendar commitments, maybe revisit a conversation that you've avoided and clarify one key point of it. That takes a lot off your nervous system, and returning to spiritual creative study that restores faith and helps you interpret what's happening. So let's have a look at your oracular prompt. So you can ask yourself, what belief would calm my nervous system if I truly lived it? Okay. Symbols, and these are just fun symbols. There may be more symbols that you see, but things that you can watch for that correlates with third and ninth houses. Books, teachers, bridges, maps, birds in flight. Okay. And how to use it? Choose one idea to practice, not debate, but write it down. Don't debate it, not debate. My grammar's bad today. Write it, speak it, and live it for 7 days. Just some ideas there for you, Cancer. So let's get you back. Here we are. And I'm going to pull you some crow wisdom from the oracle card for our oracular Mercury ruling this eclipse. So let's have a look. What have we got for you? Friendship. Okay. Right community livers, these crows are. So like crows who form lifelong bonds, cherish the friendships that bring light into your life. Okay, so that's what the oracle cards are saying to you. That's the crow wisdom for you. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Oh, before I go, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment in the box below. And if you want a personal reading, pop along to www.soulsymbols.co.uk. I'll see you in the next one, Cancer. Bye-bye. So, Leo rising, you have got this lunar eclipse happening here in your second house, along with the south node. Your ruler, obviously, is up there in Pisces in your 8th house, and that is conjunct Pallas that I talked about. There's Pallas, and very near the north node. Okay, so what does this axis mean for you, Leo? So your second house is money, worth, and personal resources that are being reset and simplified. Pisces is opening the door to shared finances. That's your 8th, debts, emotional entanglements, and perhaps even energetic cords here. So practical examples could be cancel one expense that's more anxiety than value for you, audit a subscription, financial arrangements. Set a clean boundary around what you will and won't carry emotionally for someone else, okay? And your oracular prompt is, where am I paying with my energy for something I don't even value? That's so important for you. Your energy, putting your energy to things you value, not out of duty, okay? Symbols you may want to watch for connected with this second and 8th house is receipts, coins, open wallets, debts, tangled cords, knots. How can you use it? If those symbols or your own symbols and synchronicities turn up, do one cord cut action. So cut something off, cancel, renegotiate, or stop overgiving, Leo. Okay. Let's get you back, Leo. here you are. And I'm going to pull you a crow oracle. Oh, that jumped. It didn't come out, but it jumped. Strength. That's so Leo. The strength card is actually Leo. Okay. So it's asking you with your sun to tap in, Leo, to your innate strength there, okay? It says discover inner strength, okay? So they may be the messages Mercury is bringing you through perseverance and resilience. It builds confidence and character, and that's something you probably already know, but the crows are highlighting it for you, Leo. Okie dokie. So if you enjoyed that, I'm going to say the normal bump. Please like, subscribe, share it, drop a comment below. What's resonating for you, Leo? And if you want a personal reading, pop along to www.soulsymbols.co.uk and it'll be a pleasure to read for you. Okay, Leo, see you in the next one. Bye-bye. So, Virgo, this is a biggie for you. The lunar eclipse, the moon and the south node are sitting here in your first house. The ruler of the eclipse is Mercury, and it's also the ruler of your house is sat there in the seventh. So you should be feeling this lunar eclipse quite a lot, put it that way, okay? So let's have a look at what this means for you. And of course, the other thing for you, Virgo, is that your ruler in retrograde may be a review of your whole life, review, reset in any area of your life, okay? So we're talking identity, body, and self-definition that are under this eclipse light. So Pisces is bringing relationship mirrors to you, but also projections. And it will be asking for asking for soul level honesty in partnership and relationship here. So practical examples for you, Virgo, could be to drop one persona or mask that you've been maintaining, revise how you introduce yourself and your work, have one clarifying relationship conversation, and verify assumptions rather than mind reading. So you're going to need that clarity, okay? Because these things may come up symbolically for you. Okay, so let's have a look at our fun oracular prompt. What image of me am I ready to stop maintaining? So it's like that, drop one persona. Okay. Symbols to watch for with this first and seventh house is clothing changes, shedding skin, mirrors, name tags, introductions. And how to use it when it appears: simplify your self-presentation and verify relationship assumptions directly. So let's get you back, Virgo, and have a look at the wisdom of the crow, see if it can answer. Oh, yeah, that wanted to come. Destiny, Virgo, destiny. Well, the eclipse is happening in your first house, which is your Dharma house. So that is purpose and destiny here, okay? So there's the destiny card. At the moment of recording, this is showing up mirrored. Apologies if it is, but it may come out the right way. So destiny, follow the path that aligns with your true purpose. It's your Dharma house. And aspirations. It unfolds your unique journey. So I'm guessing this eclipse is going to be, really beneficial for you, Virgo. So be alert to all those signs, symbols, messages as you toddle along through this eclipse. If you enjoyed it, Virgo, then please like, subscribe, drop a comment if it resonated. And if you want a personal reading to find out more about your Dharma, your purpose, your destiny, nip along to www.soulsymbols.co.uk and book a personal reading there. Okay, Virgo, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Okay, hello, Libra. So this eclipse for you in Virgo is happening in your 12th house. There it is, along with the south node. So your 12th house there, and opposite is the sun conjunct Pallas, and the north node is there. Okay, and that is your 6th house. And the ruler is over there in your 6th house, quite close to the sun. Your ruler, Libra, is there in the 6th house. She's exalted there, sitting there in Pisces with all those other planets. So what does this mean for you, Libra? Well, it means the eclipse will be clearing old grief. This is your 12th hidden stress and subconscious loops for you. Pisces is asking for practical healing through routines, your 6th house, work systems, and care of your body. Okay, very much healthier. Practical examples could be, you can probably think of many more, build a simple daily nervous system practice. So walk, breathe, use water, have, early night, not just use water, drink water. Step away from private worrying loops by writing it down, journaling, and kind of really identifying your real fears. Refine a workflow that your work stops draining you. Okay, so there's some practical examples. For your oracular prompt, what invisible stress is shaping my body and schedule? Symbols to watch for. These are a few I've thought of for the 12th and 6th. There are many more, but you could be watching for pill bottles, alarm clocks, laundry, fog and mist, stray cats, things that need care here. Okay. And how do you use these symbols? Treat the symbol as a cue to build one gentle routine and remove one draining obligation for you. Okay, let's get you back. So let's pull you an oracle card, see what the crows have got to say to you. Okay, Libra. Not one going to flip for you. So I'm going to just pull one off the top for you. What have you got? Illumination. Oh, this is a beautiful card for you with this oracular Mercury. Illumination. Okay, so gain insights that light up your path. All right, so there might be a bit of haziness with that eclipse in your 12th. It's in the hidden house and the house of self-sabotage, self-undoing. So gain insights that light up your path. Clarity brings understanding and confidence. So the oracle is saying there will be clarity and confidence for you there, Libra. Okay, if you enjoyed that, please like, subscribe, drop a comment if it resonated. It's nice to know how it sat with you. And if you want a personal reading, then nip along to soulsymbols.co.uk and use the easy booking system there. All right then, Libra, I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Scorpio. So you're having this eclipse with Mercury. Here's the moon and the south node sitting here in your 11th house, and opposite where the ruler of this eclipse is Mercury, and the sun, of course, conjunct Pallas that I talked about, that pattern wisdom. Over here in your 5th house, along with your ruler Mars, that's at 0 degrees of Pisces here. So what does this all mean for you, Scorpio, you may be asking? So your 11th house, so we're talking friends, networks, audience, and future plans that may be edited for you here. Pisces is returning you to your 5th house of creativity, romance, children, and the heart's language, that more social and private space, that creative space. Practical examples could be to unfollow or unsubscribe from spaces that distort your mind. Only you will know if you've got any of those. It could be recommitting to one creative practice that feels like prayer or meditation, and simplifying your social calendar so that your energy goes into what you love. Okay, so our fun oracular prompt is, what future am I trying to force, and which one is trying to enchant me? 2 questions there. Symbols to watch for, and you may have many more. These are a few I pulled out of the bag for the 11th and 5th house. So it could be theatres, cinemas, it could be paint and ink, that creativity, bonfires, messages from friends, sudden nostalgia that may come. These may be some of the symbols. How you use them, if you keep seeing them or they come to you, pick one community to step back from and one creative devotion to lean into. Okay, Scorpio, let's get you back there. Okay, so I'm going to pull you a card from, the Crow Wisdom. Oh, here we go. Someone else had this. You have got illumination. So you do like to look at depth, you Scorpios, you do like a bit of research and investigation. So this lunar eclipse is bringing you illumination. That's what the wisdom of the crow is saying. It's saying gain insights that light up your path. Clarity brings understanding and confidence. That's your oracle card. So if you enjoyed that, Scorpio, please like, subscribe, drop a comment if it resonated with you. And if you want a personal reading, particularly about your path, your dharma, your way forward, then have a look, pop on over to soulsymbols.co.uk and book a reading. All right then, Scorpio, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Sagittarius. So this lunar eclipse is on your angles, okay? And it's happening on your 10th with the South Node up there in Virgo. And the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury, is sat down there in your 4th house where your foundations are, as are the Sun conjunct Pallas, that structured, that patterned wisdom that I was talking about. The ruler for you is Jupiter, which is ruling Pisces here, is up there for you in Cancer in the 8th, bringing that nourishment and nurture from the 8th house. Okay, so what does this all mean for you? So 10th and 4th, it will hit you or you will feel it strongly because it's on those angles, okay? So we're talking 10th house, career, public role, leadership and visibility. There may be a correction point here. Pisces may be pulling you homeward towards your family, your roots, your inner life, and the private truth beneath that public image. Your public life. Practical examples for you could be to revise your professional boundaries, as in availability, pricing, scope, make a home change that supports your work. So that could be workspace, quiet hours. Let a dream symbol point to what kind of work you're actually meant to be doing now. Okay, so look out for the dreams and symbols, Sagittarius. So your oracular prompt for this 10th house lunar eclipse is, what does success cost me at home, in my nervous system, my privacy and my truth? So it's a good reflection to have. Symbols, these are just fun ones I've kind of related to your 10th and 4th. Symbols to watch for, maybe doorways, house repairs, family meals, uniforms, titles. How do you use it if these symbols or other symbols come up for you? When they appear, maybe adjust a professional boundary, make a home choice that supports your work. So let's get you back, Sagittarius. Here you are. And let's pull you, flew out a card from the Oracle. Oh, loneliness. It's quite positive. We all go lonely. I've done it. Oh, loneliness. Embrace moments of loneliness with self-reflection. This is what you're being asked for here, self-reflection. Be the one to reach out and connect with others. Okay, so loneliness, that's what the Oracle is asking you to look at, Sagittarius. So if you enjoyed the podcast and your rising sign horoscope, please like, subscribe, comment if anything resonated for you. And if you want to have a look at your chart, your personal chart, a personal reading with me, nip over to soulsymbols.co.uk. Okay, Sagittarius, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Capricorn. So this lunar eclipse is happening for you in Virgo in your 9th house with the moon and the south node sitting there. And the ruler of the eclipse is down here in your 3rd house, along with the Sun conjunct Pallas, the asteroid I talked about. Your ruler, Capricorn, is sat here in the 4th house, your home, family, inner life, roots. It's been doing its thing with Neptune, so bringing that dreams, hopes, wishes, imagination into a solid reality with your planet there. So what does this mean for you, Capricorn? How can you work with this? Virgo in the 9th, Pisces in the 1st. So it's going to be around subjects such as belief, learning, publishing, teaching, travel. So the big story, getting a refinement here for you, Capricorn. Pisces is asking you to rework the 3rd house, that communication, writing, and your daily mind stream. So practical examples may be to revisit a course or teaching idea and simplify the message. And that can be overall to simplify your messages. Edit your language, less certainty, more precision. Start a dream synchronicity log. This can be a beautiful one for you, Capricorn, and translate it into one practical decision a week. So your oracular prompt here is, what truth wants simpler language? Okay. And symbols I've thought of for Virgo 9th, Pisces 3rd to watch for are notebooks, pens, road signs, short journals, repeating phrases. So how do you use it when this symbol hits? Edit. Turn the complex idea into one clean sentence, then into one small action, Capricorn. So let's get you back. There you are. So I'm going to pull you a crow. Oh, that one wants to come. A crow wisdom oracle. Insight. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful with your 9th house there and 3rd house. It says gain deeper understanding through observation and empathy. The more you learn, that's your 9th house. Well, it's your 3rd house too. The better you get. Okay, so gain deeper insight through observation and empathy. The more you learn, the better you get. Okay, Capricorn, that's what I have for you. If you enjoyed that, if it resonated with you, pop a comment in the bottom, like, subscribe, all those things. And if you want a personal reading, have a look at your natal chart, then pop along to soulsymbols.co.uk and book a reading with me. All right, Capricorn, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, Aquarius. So you have this eclipse up here in your 8th house, moon south node up there in your 8th house, and the ruler of the eclipse, Mercury in retrograde, is sat down here in your 2nd house, as is the sun conjunct Pallas. Your ruler, Aquarius, is Saturn, and that is sitting with Neptune in your 3rd house of your environment, siblings, communication. Okay, so maybe communicating those beautiful visions, dreams into a solid reality, into a foundation with your ruler there. So what does this mean for you, Aquarius? Okay, Virgo 8th, Pisces 2nd, it's shared money, intimacy, power dynamics, debt, grief, psychic residue, deep composting for you, Aquarius. Pisces is asking you to rebuild value, income, and self-trust from the inside. So practical examples may be renegotiate a shared financial agreement, end one energetic entanglement. So stop chasing, rescuing, or explaining there. Make one values-based money decision that supports peace for you, inner peace. So your oracular prompt is, where do I merge out of fear? And what would self-trust look like in money and love? Symbols to watch for, and you may have your own. You're more than likely to have your own ones. These are ones I pulled out of the air for the 8th and 2nd. Look for symbols of lock boxes, safes, keys, shared accounts, oceans and tides. If they come up, how do you use them? Let the symbol cue one practical stabilizer. So that can be budget, boundary, repayment plan, or asking for what you need, Aquarius. So let's get you back. I'm going to pull you. One's flipped over here. Look, pull you a crow wisdom. Yeah, look at this. Protection. So that is your oracle card. I shall read it for you. Feel secure in your strength, Aquarius, and your resilience. You have the power to overcome challenges. Okay, so whatever those challenges are with this eclipse reset, Aquarius, you have the ability to deal with them. Okay, if you enjoyed that, please like, subscribe, drop a comment if anything resonated. I'd be really interested to know what that was. And if you want a personal reading, if you want your natal chart read, then nip over to soulsymbols.co.uk and book a reading with me. I'll enjoy reading for you. Okay then, Aquarius, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. So, Pisces, this eclipse is happening for you in Virgo over in your 7th house. The moon and the south node are there. And the ruler of the eclipse is in your 1st house retrograde here, as is the sun conjunct Pallas that I talked about alongside the north node. Your ruler Jupiter is in Cancer, exalted there. You also have Venus exalted in your 1st house. But Jupiter is here in your 5th house, exalted, bringing abundance, fertility, and meaning to all the things and topics of the 5th house, so your creativity, children, risk, gambling, romance, and entrepreneurship. So what does this all mean for you, Pisces? Your lunar eclipse in your 7th house. Obviously, it's the 7th house of relationships, and this will hit, or you'll be aware of these energetics because it's on your angles, okay? So relationships and contracts will be getting clarified here. Pisces focus is the identity, your 1st house, body, direction, your dharma, your purpose in life. Mercury retrograde is asking you to revise how you name yourself and your path. So to look at how you speak to yourself about yourself and your way forward. Practical examples could be updating agreements and expectations in key relationships, refining your public about me bio or your offering language. Choose one embodied practice, sleep, food, movement, that will stabilize your intuition, because your intuition, with Mercury being oracular in your 1st house, with your Venus exalted, is going to be rocketing there, Pisces, for you. So your oracular prompt is, who am I becoming, and what agreement must change to honor that? Okay. An agreement will be your 7th house relationships contract. They can be personal or they can be work relationships. Okay. Symbols to work for: contracts, rings, handshakes, mirrors, name changes, boats at shore. Okay. I'm sure you'll have your own symbols come through, but just to give you an idea when I'm talking about symbols, what I'm talking about. So watch for those symbols. High intuition at the moment, Pisces. And how do you use them when your symbols appear? Revise your terms with yourself first and then with others. Okay? Mercury's doing a big review, revise in an oracular manner in your house. Okay, Pisces, let's get you back. So I'm going to get the wisdom of the the wisdom of the crow out for you. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Serenity. Your intuition is going to bring you that serenity, Pisces. The crow is telling us. So it says, find serenity in moments of peace and tranquility. So if you're not getting them, make space for them, okay? It restores calm and inner balance. And you do need that. And you've got a beautiful exalted Venus there who will be pushing the desire for that peace and tranquility. So honor that. Honor yourself with that, Pisces. Okay. If you've enjoyed the podcast, if something in it has resonated with you, drop a comment below, yeah? And like, subscribe, share it with anyone you think it might be useful for. And if you want to find out about your own path, your own way forward, then nip on over to soulsymbols.co.uk and book a reading. I'd love to read for fellow Pisces. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.